Hello everyone and welcome back to this YouTube channel. Fabio's Film Files, you've been here, you know what's happening, and this week we are talking about Mulan. Another movie delayed by the big pandemic. So sad, so disappointing. This one didn't even go to cinemas. Disney decided, you know what? We're gonna put it on Disney Plus and you're gonna have to pay for it, and oh the uproar that has caused.
Oh no, $30 for a movie! Oh, how can I afford this? I have to feed my family, my children. Oh.
Well, in this video we'll talk about whether it was worth the money, whether the movie was good, and some other things. So let's get it started. Let's talk serious business first, the money. $30 for a movie sounds like a lot, but if you think about it, it's not that much considering cinema ticket prices. So for the price of 2 tickets you can watch the movie as many times as you want, and if you're in a family, household, whatever, if everyone contributes, it's not that much money. Does it make sense for Disney to release it on Disney Plus with the extra fee? Well, if it makes sense or not, it doesn't matter, they make money. But I think it's a smart move of their side because of all the delays and the money they spend on advertisement. They're scared of making profit because they're such a poor tiny company. But by skipping the cinemas, they won't have to share any revenue. They get the $30 directly into their pockets, and for them it makes total sense. For cinemas it's kinda sad, a bummer, because Disney movies always fill seats, and it's just a weird situation currently, and I don't know how they will continue, Disney and other movie studios. I just hope that they sort this out in a civil way. So at the end of the day, it's up to you whether you want to pay for the movie or not. I'm happy that I paid for it because the movie surprised me, I enjoyed it, and now let's move on to the actual thoughts I have about the movie. I haven't seen the original because it was released in 1998, 1 year after I was born, so it went right past me, and that's why I decided to host a double feature just for me, myself and I. I felt most of the time indifferent about the original movie. I liked the concept they had. Disney really did something new and fresh with Mulan. The fact that it's a female-centered movie that's not built around a love story was nice. But what I didn't really like was the humor in it, because Mulan has overall a really dark tone, and sometimes it clashed. The jokes clashed with the rest of the movie. Please don't hate me for saying this, but I'm not a big fan of the songs. I don't know whether it's because the movie has a darker tone with darker themes and the songs just don't work for me personally. I mean, the songs by themselves, they're catchy, they're good, but in the context of the movie, they didn't click for me. Sorry. Big props to Disney for trying something new, especially in 1998, but I feel they should have stuck to one route instead of trying to please as many people as possible. That way the film became a bit of a tonal mess and lost some of its drive, its direction. After I saw the original, I was a bit worried because so far all the live action adaptations of Disney movies were carbon copies of the original. So I was like, oh god, I have to sit through this another time just with actual actors. I was worried, but my worries were unnecessary. That's a nice word. I enjoyed this version of Mulan a lot, which surprised me, but I think it's because Disney took a different approach this time. They embraced the past, they took the original movie as a blueprint, but then added and deepened the story and enriched it in a way that made it feel like not a different movie, but a new version. And I think that's the step Disney has to take from now on with all the live action adaptations they're making, because it gets boring seeing the same thing over and over again. What worked for this movie was that they removed all the singing songs from it. And I know it caused a lot of uproar, but if you've seen the movie, you notice that it's even darker than the original. And with the dark tone, it would have felt weird if they started singing in the middle of a training sequence or a battlefield. But what they did instead is they took the original songs, made instrumental versions of it, and incorporated into the score, which in turn made every scene sound beautiful. Another thing that they changed, but only worked partly, were new characters they introduced. They introduced a new female antagonist, and I'm saying antagonist because she's not the villain of the story, and I loved her. She was amazing, and I love how she's the same as Mulan, but just two sides of the same coin, which gave us a deeper understanding of Mulan and how she progresses throughout the story. However, the removal of Li Shang and replacing him with two different characters worked only partly. I get why they did it. The producer said it was in response to the Me Too movement, because it just isn't right if the commanding officer of the army has a relationship with one of his soldiers. It's predatory and kind of wrong. I don't think that was the only reason. Disney tried really hard to remove all the queer subtext from the original movie, especially all the scenes with Li Shang and Mulan dressed up as Ping, and you can see that in this version of the film they tried really hard to erase all of that, and you notice that how hard they were trying, because none of the male soldiers flirt with Mulan when she's dressed up as a man, and neither does the guy who replaces Li Shang, but still there are some looks shared between Mulan and Chen for which there is no heterosexual explanation whatsoever. Story-wise, the movie doesn't stray far from the original. It remains mostly the same, except that they removed Mushu, the dragon, and that also caused a lot of drama, but I think it was a smart choice, because his form of jokes, again, would not have worked in this kind of movie. And they replaced Mushu with a phoenix who doesn't talk, and a sort of spiritual guide for Mulan, and I think that was also one of the aspects of the movie that I enjoyed better. What the film extended were the action sequences, which look great most of the times. There are a few scenes that kind of look wrong and confusing, but most of the time the action is on point. Also, in general speaking, the visuals of the movie are amazing. I love the costume design and the set design. The whole movie has a different feel to other Disney live action adaptations. I think either they worked with less CGI or toned it down in a way that made it look more realistic. However, sometimes the visuals looked too pre-produced. It's like they know exactly what looks good in theory and did everything to the minute detail in that way, and I think by doing that the movie lost some of its character. It feels too much like a production instead of a actual living thing. All things considered, I really enjoyed this movie, and I hope it sets a precedent for future live action adaptations, because that way they are really fun. I'm sad that I didn't get to see it in cinemas, because watching movies in cinemas is always a different experience. I mean, sure, the downside are other people, which I didn't have here. No one was chewing popcorn or making noises or talking or phones going off. But then again, some of the excitement goes away because you can just start the movie anytime you want. I just love cinema. I love going there. It's my hobby. That's why I'm doing this here. I enjoyed it. If you grew up watching Mulan and want to watch that one, please bear in mind that it's not really like the original movie, and if you can't turn off the nostalgia, you will be disappointed. But if you try to take a neutral position, the movie will actually surprise you because it's good. And I think maybe Disney should have marketed this movie differently by not calling it a live-action adaptation of Mulan, and they could have avoided so much drama around everything they changed. That's just my humble opinion. Those are my thoughts on Mulan. Thank you for watching. I think you should watch this movie for yourself. just to paint your own picture. And yeah, if you have a Disney Plus subscription, you can wait until December to watch it for free. Well, not for free, but just for the monthly fee you have to pay. If you've seen it, let me know what you think in the comments. It's been a blast talking to you. I will leave my social media thingies in the description as usual. Go follow me, go talk to me, and yeah, thank you for watching. Peace out.